So we can either have internal control, believing I can influence what happens now and in the future, or I can have an external control in this area, believing life happens to me and I don't really have a say. I feel like a victim to my past, a victim to my future. People often feel limited and stuck when they think that their power is outside of them, like it's coming from their past. Like things from their past can affect their future, for example, or that this is just how they were born. It creates that victim helpless way of thinking. Sometimes people get really confused about this because pop psychology and culture reinforce unhelpful beliefs about this. People who believe that their past dictates their future often say things like, the anxiety that I have now is because of what happened years ago. My personality is fixed because of how I grew up. I once had a client say to me, I was just born a spaz. It's not true. Our personality is technically our lenses, and thankfully, we can decide what lenses we are wearing every day. This is what thriving is. It's not about controlling external things around us. It's about giving ourselves the best possible mental position to cope with the hurdles and stressors of life. When we are in the habit of giving our power away to the past, we typically will assume that our past also shapes our current self-esteem and how we view ourselves. We think maybe that our phobias are stuck or too ingrained or from a traumatic PTSD type of event. Therefore, we can't ever overcome, or that we've just had something for too long. We think our personality cannot change because it was formed in our childhood. Well, the good news is this is not true. These beliefs can create a sense of powerlessness. The past does not have to control your present. Even if something scary or traumatic did happen in the past, it's not reaching into your life right now and creating the symptoms that you are currently dealing with. Every single day, as I said, we decide which lenses we are wearing. What affects you today actually is your thinking, your beliefs, your sense of control, and your habit. How do we know this? Because two people respond differently to the same event. Two different people can go through the same tough experience. And this is what research shows. Research shows that it's not about the actual thing, event, or experience, how a person responds or reacts to that thing. One person may process it very powerfully and positive, while the other writes a very different story for themselves. They could even create a phobia. It's how we interpret the event, what meaning or story we wrote around it. If someone forms unhelpful beliefs around an event or thing, the beliefs can actually be changed now. Past events are valid. It's not that we are taking an actual traumatic event and saying it doesn't matter. We are simply saying it's not stored or bottled up anywhere. The pain you felt in the moment was absolutely real. You may still be experiencing some painful consequences, whether it was your decision or someone else's decision, and that's okay. We're going to talk about forgiveness next. The events themselves are not directly causing today's anxieties or fears or phobias. What matters is the belief that you formed around them, the meaning you gave the event, and the habits that you built afterwards because of that. If you've never changed your lenses, you're going to have the same expectations and beliefs about the same event. Let's say somebody has a serious car accident at age 16. At age 26, they panic when they think about driving, getting in a car, or seeing an accident on TV. They might believe my phobia is bottled up from the accident. The accident traumatized me forever. But in reality, the phobia is caused by the current beliefs they're wearing, the lenses that they have on today. Driving is not safe. Driving is terrifying. I'm not safe. I can't handle this. It will happen again for sure. It's bound to happen. The beliefs were influenced by the accident, but they are now being created, generated, and maintained and reinforced today by how that person keeps thinking about it. Some people do not develop a phobia even though they went through a similar or same event. Why is it? Because they processed it differently. And that's all about what you're learning in the Thrive program, is how to process your life in a powerful, positive way to give yourself the best possible opportunity at a life well lived. A lot of this also has to do with resiliency. Let's say this person that was in the car accident that processed it well, they made sense of it in a way that helped them actually feel capable again. And they also exposed themselves to discomfort by getting back into a car and showing themselves and evidencing to themselves that the beliefs that they had once told themselves about that situation were not true. It's not always bound to happen again. You are safe. You can do this. They dealt with the unhelpful beliefs that they may have been producing early on. They nipped them in the butt. Most phobias come from poorly managed thinking. They are not the result of a specific past event. It makes sense to think this, and I thought it once myself. But they are kept alive by avoiding situations that feel terrifying or that you believe you can't handle, wanting to feel totally in control at all times, and believing something outside of them is causing the fear. It would sound like dogs are terrifying. Driving in the rain is horrific. Tunnels scare me. Many common phobias, like dogs, heights, water, flying, tunnels, injections, and illnesses like health anxiety, relate to feeling out of control. This can also be the case when we think about relationship attachment styles and fearing intimacy and vulnerability. Internal control changes everything, which is what you're learning with me. When you develop confidence in your ability to handle things, helpful beliefs, skills for managing thoughts, you gain a stronger sense of internal power and control. This lets you change your reactions because they are not happening to you. You are in control of your lenses. If you're a teenager watching this with your teen manual, that would be your orange thrivey lenses. Outcomes start to feel predictable to your brain, not random or scary. Why do memories feel so powerful, but they're not controlling us? It feels like memories are bringing something back or to the surface, like old emotions. But memories don't work like video clips stored in your brain. The brain doesn't save full recordings of life events. In fact, memory is constructed, not replayed. When something happens, your brain stores tiny bits of information in many different areas. When you recall something, your brain pulls out those tiny bits and then it fills in the gaps with a mental framework that feels familiar. It's like having a partly finished puzzle and guessing what goes in the empty holes. Each time you remember something, you are recreating the memory, not playing a stored video. So it's actually not that accurate, even though it can feel like it. Why does this matter so much when it comes to our sense of power? Because memory is constructive. Remembering a scary event does not mean the past is attacking you. It means your current belief system shape how you're reconstructing it. So whichever lenses you are currently wearing dictate actually how you see the past and how you see the future. If I'm in the habit of thinking in a really catastrophic way, I'm going to view my past that way. I'm going to say the time we got swine flu was horrific. It was terrible. It was the worst ever. I wish I could avoid it at all costs. Or one day I went out in traffic and it was 5 p.m. It was so awful and scary. I never want to go out at that time ever again. You can see how this is very constricting and limiting. When you change your current beliefs, your current thinking styles, your current sense of power and control, self-esteem, all of these things, your memories actually start to change as well, and how you see the future. You're going to start seeing the future in a powerful, positive light. I can do that. I will figure it out. I know I can overcome that. Our memories change in the present based on how we feel right now. When something happens, your mind does not record it like a camera. Instead, you code it based on things like how you felt at the time, what you believed at the moment, what mood you were in, how you were thinking about life and yourself at that time. Two people could live in the same exact moment, but store completely different memories because their feelings and beliefs at the time were different. Something that might feel overwhelming and chaotic to me may feel like so much fun to my husband. Yes, that's a true story. What may feel relaxing and enjoyable to me might feel a little bit boring and stale to him. What we feel now affects how we remember the past. Memories do not stay the same. We rebuild them each time we think about them, and your current state changes how they feel. If you're anxious today, past events may feel and seem scarier than they actually were. This is proven by research. If you're sad today, past memories might look more dark or dramatic. If you're feeling more anxious today, a small past conflict might seem massive. People with a strong headache remembered their past headaches worse than they actually rated them. So pain is not just a sensory experience. Previous pain memories help shape expectations about future pain. Research suggests that memories of past headaches can influence how intensely a person perceives later headaches, particularly through expectancy and anticipation mechanism. That's saying that what we expect and believe about the pain that we're going to maybe experience becomes our reality. It's kind of like if I go to the dentist and I think this is going to be so stressful, this is going to be awful. All the research shows that you're going to actually experience worse pain than you would have going into it expecting it to be not that bad. and a better experience than last time. So the power of your lenses can actually shape how you feel, think, and respond. In migraine and headache sufferers, people tend to remember the actual pain intensity fairly accurately months later. However, they often distort their memory of emotions associated with the headache, such as anxiety, distress, or relief. These emotional memories can strongly influence later pain perception. People with chronic headaches often pay more attention to pain-related information and are more likely to interpret ambiguous sensations as threatening or pain-related. These biases may help maintain chronic pain by keeping the brain focused on potential danger signals. So it's really not helpful. So it's really important what lenses we are utilizing currently to dictate a better outcome for ourselves in the future. If you have beliefs in your lenses that sound like this, I have always struggled with that. I've always been anxious. The brain can shape old memories to actually match that current belief system. If someone has anxiety or depression, they often feel like life is terrible. When they look back, the memories that explain why they feel bad seem more dramatic, emotional, and damaging. The brain reconstructs the past to match how they feel today. It's like wearing gray tinted glasses. Current events look gray, past memories look gray, but it's the glasses, not the events, that make them seem that way. We don't store emotions with memories. Many people believe you can bottle up anger. While you can hold a grudge, this is not the same thing. Holding grudges is definitely unhelpful and something that we need to work on. But emotions aren't buried deep inside of the brain. Feelings are not trapped inside of past memory. That's not how the mind works, and it's a great thing to wake up and realize because it's going to give you so much power back. Every emotion you feel is created in the moment. Think about how an actor or an actress can generate emotions in the moment. It's how you're seeing the situation, the beliefs that you have right now, and how you are managing your lenses. You don't release old emotions from storage. You create new emotions in real time based on how you are interpreting things today. Research shows the way you first interpreted an event is not the final version. Your first emotional reaction doesn't control how you will feel about it forever. Again, how you remember the event later depends on your current lenses and beliefs. If you strengthen your internal locus of control today by changing the beliefs and the story you had originally written about an event, you will change how you emotionally respond to it now and in the future. How do people give their power away to the future? A lot of people get stuck in the past, but a lot of people also lose power by worrying about the future. What if this happens? What if I mess up? What if I can't handle this? What if something goes wrong? And if you're an emetophobe, most of the time it's what if I get sick today? This can make the future feel scary when nothing bad is actually happening right now. The problem with what if thinking is that the brain is trying to check with you. Do I have the ability to cope with this? Would I be okay? Even if this were to happen, can I handle something unpredictable, unknown? The brain does not like uncertainty, and that's okay. But we have to reassure ourselves, not something outside of us reassuring us. So it tries to imagine every possible situation, even ones that are very unlikely to occur and ones that will never happen, as you know. It's just the brain reaching for control, and you can calm it back down and say, we don't need to know this. We can tolerate uncertainty. We can handle whatever comes our way. A lot of people think the future is dangerous or unpredictable. Even when most things are manageable, if you look at your past, you'll come up with evidence that you have handled hard things before, that you do know what you're doing. Think about parenting. Most people say, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm going to figure it out. And they do. People often think that feeling safety comes from controlling details, but this just leads to over-control, which then lowers our coping skills. Because we never get the opportunity to expose ourselves to hardship and build new powerful beliefs about ourselves. Some things in life are truly unknown, unpredictable, uncertain. And one thing I tell my clients is if they weren't, life would be really monotonous, robotic, and boring. And thank goodness for surprises. Spontaneity is a beautiful, wonderful thing because if every day was the same, we would just feel like a hamster on a wheel. Control does feel good to humans, but spontaneity is interesting. It gives us a chance to adapt, to grow, to change, to challenge ourselves. It is a good thing. Even if the thing itself, like maybe your child vomiting, doesn't feel like a good thing in the moment, it's still an opportunity And that's how thriving people view these things. It's not that everything has to be butterflies and rainbows and controllable all the time. It's what can I take out of this situation? How can I build myself? How can I grow? How can I increase my self-esteem and sense of power and control in this situation?